We'll see if he gets to. It is left to him once again. Oh, it's ended up in the back of the net. A horror show for Mukoro. But
good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning. As you know that the Big R Solution Sport Program, we bring you the news around the sports, especially football. We focus on football. That's what we normally do. But that doesn't mean that we are going to ignore what is happening in other big sport. But before I do anything, this is what I want to say. I want to say shout out to Amazulu. I saw them going to pay tribute to Isilo Samabandla, and that was a very great move for Amazulu to go there and pay tribute to the family and show that they're with the family. But my feeling, I would have loved to see all the teams in Durban, like Golden Arrows, Maritzburg United, having gone there. So now it seems as if the other teams, Golden Arrows and other teams, missed the opportunity, all right, of going there and sympathize with the Zulu nations, all right. So, but that was a good move for Amazulu. And then I said big up to the owner, Sanilo Zungu, and the team that organized that. That was a big thing. And like we said, Isilo Slele Banbengosi, and then, Impilo Injalo, and then Umdalu Yowaziyo. Tina Snama plans, but uNkulunkulu yo decide. So uNkulunkulu yo tata inqumo ekugcineni. So we really say our condolences to the royal family. We never expected this, but it's something that will happen. No one expects death in any way. So welcome to the show. My name is the Saubrey Boyz Walefatse from the Big R, together with my two hosts, which is Jacob Selematsela, or you can call him Ntwentle. And last born, Tshepang Kgole. And today we have a guest, Invisible Man. That's Kagiso Kekana. He's joining us, but unfortunately we can't see him because he's struggling with the video. So you'll bear with us. So Kagiso will be with us tonight, and then he's gonna give us views. Kagiso is an ardent Pirates fan. Before I go to Jackie, internationally, Kagiso, what is the other team that you are supporting? All right, so tonight we are having a topic around the Manchester United. So now before I go to Jackie, we have three topics today. We could not choose which one is better than the other. So the first one, you as the viewer out there, you'll subscribe and like and dislike. If you don't dislike, click like twice, then we know. And just comment why you don't like, okay? And then if you like, of course, we'll appreciate that. And then also comment, all right? But continue to subscribe. The first topic is, do you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjær has turned the fortune of Man United? So you can decide, has he turned the fortune of Man United? Because we know that Man United, after Sir Alex Ferguson, there were many coaches who went there and they could not succeed. Big names, people like Van Gaal, Moyes, you name them, but all of them, including Jose Mourinho. At some point, we need to talk about Jose Mourinho, whether he still has the mojo or not. But that will be a topic for another day. So that's the first topic. So if you agree, you'll say yes. If you don't agree, you say no and give us a comment. Now, the second topic that I want us to discuss. Do you think that Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur will make top four in the Premier League, which means they'll qualify for the Champions League? Do you think Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur will make top four? So if it's either you say yes or no and give us a comment. Now, the third topic tonight, we pick up the news that especially after the Champions League game, after Juventus lost, we heard that the management of Juventus, including the fans, they were angry at Ronaldo. And they were saying Ronaldo was brought in to bring the glory of the Champions League. So 3 seasons is passing and they have never won a Champions League. They are even thinking of offering Ronaldo back to Real Madrid, this time at the cheaper price for 25 million euros. Now, I'm not sure when they say they offer him back to Man United, to Real Madrid, because they want Real Madrid to get him. Because one of the real reasons why they want to offload Ronaldo is the salary. Remember, the salary is a problem, guys. It's a big, big problem. We have Barcelona also having the problems, and it's certain that Coutinho is going to leave. They're going to sell him because of the salary. They're also thinking of selling Dembele because of the salary. The only issue, it was only around Messi. Laporte says we'll keep Messi, but we'll talk to him to reduce the salary. So is it fair for Juventus fans and management to say Ronaldo did not bring what he's supposed to bring and blame it on him? So it's yes or no. So those are the 3 topics. You'll choose which one do you want to make a comment on. Jackie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you so much to you, Mr. Dao. And thank you very much to my co-analyst and our guest in the studio. I'd like to welcome you, my brother. I know you're a big Bagania. Welcome, Bagania. Welcome to the show, my brother. And I would like to also say good morning to our supporters. And then out there, we are back again, back from Cape Town to get information for you guys. We will be sharing all the good news with you. Before wasting any more time, let me start with giving you the results of the DSTV Premiership. I will start with the games that played on the 10th of March, 2021. There was a game between TTM playing against Golden Arrows. It was an away game for Golden Arrows, and Golden Arrows collected maximum points, which is 3 points, and the score ended up at 2-1. Golden Arrows 2, Chakuma 1. And then TS Galaxy played against Black Leopards, and Galaxy scored 3 goals, and then Black Leopards won. Baroka FC was playing against Stellenbosch FC, and then it was an away game for Stellenbosch. They played very well, and they scored 3 goals, and Baroka won. So that was a very good away win for Stellenbosch. Then Chippa United played against Amazulu, Esgapenin McCarthy in the 18 area. Wow, what a game it was. Amazulu scored a goal. I remember they scored via a penalty in the last dying minutes of the game. Amazulu won, Chippa United not. And then we had also a game between Marisbeck and Amakosi, Kaiser Chiefs. It was a good game as well, and that game ended up at 1-1 draw. And then there was a game as well that was played between Mamelodi Sundowns, the Tycoons, played against another Stellenbosch, the Tycoons as well. It was a battle of the Tycoons. These are the teams that are rich in the PSL, richest teams in the PSL. Stellenbosch scored first, and then in the first half the score it was 1-0, and then in the second half, Mamelodi Sundowns came back very strongly, and they scored an equalizer in the last dying minute, in the 94th minute. There comes that man again with these incredible celebrations. I'm talking about Peter Shalulile. He scored what a goal he scored. Then after that, the celebration was something out of this world. I was so impressed with that celebration, and I understand that when Coach Mangoba says it's very difficult to control Shalulile when he scores these goals. So that celebration is out of this world, very unique indeed. In a nutshell, those are the results for our DSTV Premiership. And then immediately on that, remember we had games for the Nedbank Cup, and I'm going to give you the results quickly. Mamelodi Sundowns was playing against Polokwane City, and then Sundowns scored 4 goals and 0 to Polokwane City, which is telling us that Sundowns now has qualified to the next round of the Nedbank Cup. I'll talk about that game later on, about Sundowns and Pirates, the Buccaneers. And then also we had another game, which was Chippa United played against Richards Bay. Those are the KZN Richards boys. The Richards Bay, they beat Amakosi out of this Nedbank Cup. Chippa United scored 2, and then Richards Bay scored only 1. It means that now Chippa United, they're going to the next round, which is the top 4 now in the Nedbank Cup. And then we've got also Cape Town All Stars. What a very good game they played against Pretoria Kellys. Luck, if luck is not there, it's not on your side, definitely you'll never buy it anywhere. Cape Town All Stars, they scored first, and then Pretoria Kellys equalized. After equalizing, they scored the second goal, and then they equalized. Then the game went to extra time. After extra time, the game went for penalties. And then Cape Town All Stars scored 4 goals, 4 penalties, and Pretoria Kellys 5. So which basically tells us that Cape Town All Stars lost the game 5-4 to Pretoria Kellys. And then we've got also another game that was played between Black Leopards and Chakuma. And that game ended up Chakuma 2, Black Leopards 0. Now, I want to come back to the game between Mamelodi Sundowns. Immediately after the draw, after the games of Sunday. And then what happened is that there was a draw conducted. Chakuma will be taking on an away game. They will be coming to Johannesburg to play against either Sundowns or Mamelodi Sundowns or Orlando Pirates Amapagania. The winner between the two will take on Chakuma. Remember that the game has been postponed. That game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, because they are playing African games right now, that game has been postponed to the 12th of April. And we're waiting for that game. We're going to anticipate it. I hear some people saying Amapagania will win this one, and others are saying Mamelodi Sundowns will win this one. We will be watching the game and supporting the game and let the best team win on that particular occasion. Yeah. Quickly as I quickly on something else that I just want to highlight. I know that there's a player with the name of Keegan Buchanan, who was playing for Maritzburg United. He's a free agent, and then he was training with Morocco Swallows. And then they were supposed to finalize the deal, and then it collapsed on the 11th hour, because firstly they agreed on a short-term deal until the end of the season, and then after that, on the 11th hour, Morocco Swallows ultimately wanted more beyond that particular deal, and then it looks like the young man wanted too much money, and then the negotiations ended up collapsing in that regard. So unfortunately, it's not going to happen at the moment. We will keep on looking forward and see what is happening. There's a very good player as well within the tycoon guys. I'm talking about Stellenbosch. His name is Skellum, and then there's a rumor that he is wanted by Kaizer Chiefs. He responded that he's ready. He wants to come and play for his dream team and all those kind of things. But now the coach says, I still deserve to get what I want, and you still have to pull up your socks and deliver, because you're still having a contract with us. That is a very good instruction from the coach. Our players have to learn to be professional. Even if you know that next year or next season you're going somewhere else, you don't just not put effort into your current team. You have to still make sure that you finish up your contract. And then also another good news, or maybe let me just say not good news per se, let me just say breaking news, is that Kaizer Chiefs have axed their former player, which was Njangase. He's no longer a Kaizer Chiefs player, and then they reached a mutual agreement, and then Chiefs is busy looking at other different players. And in a nutshell, that's all I've got within the local front, and then anything else I will be able to tell you guys. Whatever, there's something that was said by our new CAF president. He mentioned the fact that if you want to buy a Rolls Royce, you must pay for it. I don't know who he was referring to, but that's the statement that he said. Then from there on, he laughed, and then he said, "Now I'm definitely following the trend of Mr. Motaung, whereby he's the president of the team, and then now he's also giving his son the opportunity to be the president." So, which basically tells us that in the Motsepe clan, we've got two presidents at a go: the CAF president as well as the team president. What a fantastic kind of an achievement! Most of the families are not reaching that kind of a feat. Anyway, gentlemen, and our viewers there at home, thank you very much for your time. Let me go back to my chief in the studio, Mr. Dow himself, Mr. Big R.
Yeah, they were
There you
saying
are, my brother.
Kamaldeen is also tipped to go to Kaiser Chiefs. I don't know how did you miss that one.
Yes. The negotiations are still on at the moment as we speak with Hamaldin. The negotiations have been opened, yes, and it's not only him. There's plenty of them. So right now it's still early to say anything. Let's wait for some time until we get the raw information directly from the horse's mouth. I've got my scorpions in the field. Don't worry, information will be coming soon.
And I wanted to say, you touched on the Tycoons. There was a team
Yes.
here was called the Tycoons because the owner was brandishing the money. Remember that team? I forgot the name of the team. And people like Mambush, they joined the team. All of a
I
sudden,
remember the team.
it just
Yes.
evaporated. So maybe sometimes we need to look very closely with, I don't know whether should I call them the Johnny come to Joe back, these guys who come in, try to buy the team and evaporate quickly. So what is the
I,
reason for that? And
I remember that particular team.
what
They
is
even
best?
one day came with the bus, with the
Yeah.
big bus, branded their name. I've just forgotten their name. And then the owner was a young boy, I don't know, from the Northwest or something like that.
No.
So everything.
It was not a young man from the north. It was an Indian guy. We need to find out what happened to that team.
Yeah.
They Lou, if you remember, they Lou Mambush, né? From Mamelodi
Oh, I know the
Sundowns
name.
to them.
Yes.
And we were a little bit worried if these guys can Lou Mambush from Sundowns to them.
Is it not?
Ev-
Is it not
Everybody
Ratamang
was
Maholosiane?
no.
Is it? No,
Everybody
no, no,
was
not that one.
everybody was going there
Yeah.
to that team. It was the Tycoons. But now that's a homework for just search what team is that and then what happened. Where is the guy? Let's find out what happened. Now tonight,
Yes.
this morning, guys, I've invited Kagiso, who watched the show, who enjoys the show, and then so I want to give him the honor because he's a Pirates fan. I want to give him the opportunity to talk about Pirates. Last born, I know that I've been giving the opportunity to greet the viewers. I'm gonna come back to you when we talk international, last born. Let's give the Paga Paga an opportunity to tell us about Pirates. I know that this coming Friday we'll be having two Pirates and two Kaiser Chiefs looking at the derby. Kagiso, welcome to the show. What do you want to tell us about Pirates?
Thank you very much for having me on the show, and I'm honored to be here tonight because, like, I never thought I'd see such an opportunity in such a short time period. But I'm glad to be on the show, and I hope the viewers enjoy the show today.
Yeah, although you're an invisible man to, this morning, but it's fine. Next time we'll see you. Kagiso, Orlando Pirates. I think the past few games they are showing consistency. And then I think it was Jakey or Roy at some point was saying the problem with Pirates, they're not consistent. or it could be Tshepang. So what do you want to tell us? But before I ask you what you want to tell us, Tshepang, what do you want to say about Orlando Pirates from your perspective to a Pirates fan?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Shabalala, and to my fellow colleagues, and to our viewers out there. Thanks for having me today. Mr. Shabalala, Orlando Pirates, I think right now they're on the right path. There's a player I kept talking about these past couple of days to certain colleagues of mine. Seeing the likes of Lindam Tambo finally getting a clean opportunity to play. I think personally he has brought change in Orlando Pirates for the past 3-4 games, and he has brought some energy within the starting 11. So there's a lot of good influence when he's playing, and personally I feel he's probably the change that they needed, because they've been doing well ever since he started starting the matches, starting the games. They've gotten the results that they've wanted. Even in CAF, playing in CAF, he delivers, he scores goals. So there's just a lot of change, I guess. And it's good to see that the coach finally, he's not chopping and changing a lot of players anymore. I think he has found a good squad that he can feel like he can move with the squad going forward. Give him probably in the next 5 games, he still has the same squad that he can run with, and the players are starting to deliver. So that's the consistency that we've been looking for at Orlando Pirates. So they're on the right path. So far, so good. They're on the right path.
Mm-hmm. And I must say, guys, we need to give credit where due where credit is supposed to go. Tshepang is our last born, doing a very good analysis, and one of our staunch supporter, Fraser Kekane, commented that Tshepang really understands football. He can really analyze. Tshepang once said, "Come a billiard, he went to a wrong team." So Chiefs is not a fit team for him. So Tshepang was spot on. And I also commented that, what is good? Tshepang is a Chiefs fan, but when he comment or analyze, he does not bring those sentiments into the play, which is what a journalist or or analyst should be. Hence, I say, journalists, we need to know who do they support. But when they analyze, they need to be as objective as possible. All right, even judges, they have their favorite teams or their favorite political organizations. But when they go and pass judgment, that should not come into play. So we saw kickoff reaching to the same conclusion. So big up, Lasbon, you are doing well. We really appreciate. And then it shows that really, really you are committed. You look at your facts very well, and big up Lasbon. And then Kahiso, you have just heard what Tshepang said. So you can also add, because I want you to tell us about Orlando Pirates, because after this, we'll be moving to international.
Mr. Shabalala, you mentioned about Orlando Pirates' consistency in the last 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
And if they are actually on the right path. As a football fan, you actually can tell if your team is playing well. So for me, Pirates was like a team that is playing well but not converting their chances. So the biggest problem was actually like scoring. They're not creating enough chances to score. Like they play amazing football, outrun everyone. I've watched the last derby we watched, the last derby we had with the Chiefs. The top 3 people who outrun the field were actually Orlando Pirates players. Hence, we had like a German coach recently. What I noticed about German coaches is that they always demand intensity. So we know the team is fit, so we can't blame it on fitness or keeping clean sheets, because Orlando Pirates is like that kind of team that can outrun the people because of the work rate. The only problem that they had, or an obstacle, if I may say, as a fan, is creating goal-scoring chances. It was a complete team, but it just did not convert their chances. Most teams would have two problems, maybe keeping a clean sheet or scoring. But Orlando Pirates only has a problem with creating chances. So as a fan, I feel like in the past 6 games, the conversion rate up front is what's playing its role in its consistency. Maybe their hard work that has never been looked at, like in terms of outrunning their opponents, because it's really important that you outrun your opponent. But if you don't convert those chances, whether you have 65 ball possession, if the score line is not reflecting, everything is just all in vain. So I feel the consistency has grown in the past 6 games because now they're converting chances.
Oh, now you are saying they are creating chances, but they don't convert them.
Yeah, they don't convert. They don't convert. They're not clinical, if I may put it in simple words. They play amazing football. As a fan, you know when something is going right in your team, and you can tell, okay, this player is not reacting. This is not how he plays. But when you look at the work rate, like the work rate is high, but the conversion rate is low. So I think that's one thing they probably have looked at, and that's what they trying to deal with in the past 5 6 games.
Mm-hmm. You know, I wanted to comment on this, but I'm sure Jackie will come in here. But I want Kagiso to comment on this. You know, I watch local football and I watch international football. Our players, they fail to understand the basics. You know, if you run with the ball to the byline, you can't score from the byline. Our players, they always want to score from the byline instead of bringing the ball inside. And if you look at Barcelona, that's how they kill teams. You know, Jordi Alba will always bring the ball in all the time. So that's how they kill teams. But with our players, it seems as if they want to score. And you can't score on the side of byline. It's very difficult to score from that angle. It's very rare to score from that angle. But not only that, the other thing that I've noticed, even at Pirates, decision making is a problem. When to score and when to pass and when to cross. You know, coming to those basics, that's number 2. Number 3, they seems not to be calm when they want to take the shots. Like you are saying, they are not clinical. You know, they try to they panic instead of being calm and hit the ball easily. And they want to bury the goalkeeper, not the goal. All right? Instead of passing it to the net, they want to bury the goalkeeper. So those are the comments that I've seen. And it's not only a problem with Pirates. I think even at Kaizer Chiefs, you can see that. The majority of local football, that is lacking. I don't know. What's your take, Kahiso? Does Pirates have those issues that I mentioned?
Pirates doesn't have like a specific starting lineup. Hence, in the past 3 seasons, we've been bringing out a lot of players and like exchanging. Like there's a lot of players that constantly leave the club, and there's a lot of players that constantly like join the club. So I feel like what you have just mentioned, the biggest issue is just like the chemistry. Some players play well when others are there. So if we are constantly rotating the squad, it just has to change the game the way I play as a player. This is like from a player's perspective. But what you have just mentioned is true, because a lot has been happening in the club in terms of like fixing the dream team, like the treble winning team. So Pirates didn't have that kind of chemistry amongst their players with the amount of rotations they've had in the past 3 seasons. So I just feel like certain circumstances just require like you just need to get used to like your surroundings in terms of like working with new employees or whether like you're moving into a new field. Because like I feel like you cannot move forward in football alone. So I feel like there's that individual brilliance that tends to take place in one of the big players. But if we don't move as a team, like having one goal in the same mind state, whether you have good players or not, the team will not move forward without the chemistry. So I feel like chemistry on how players play together is really important on what you just mentioned.
Now you've said something very important, that possession does not mean you win. What counts is goals. So that is why we started the show with the goal of Sundowns this morning. Like last week, we started with Orlando Pirates. Goals. You know, Sundowns in their Nedbank Cup, they scored 4 goals before halftime. But I was disappointed. After halftime, they never went out and killed the game. You know, I think I don't know whether they were content with 4. They should have scored more. Jackie, come in.
Yes, my brother. Thank you very much for that analysis, Kagiso. You are spot on with your analysis. And also, I just want to add on what you just mentioned in terms of Orlando Pirates. If you look at Orlando Pirates in the last 2 or 3 months ago, there was no structure at all within Orlando Pirates. Everybody was just playing for the sake of playing, but there was no structure at all. For an example, if they attack, there was no structure that says when we attack, we're going to attack either on counter attack, or maybe when we attack, there will be 2 midfielders who will be going back so that they can be able to assist the defense or anything like that. But right now, if you look at Orlando Pirates, the structure is excellent. Everybody knows exactly what is it that they're supposed to do. And then on top of that, one of my disappointment is the fact that Orlando Pirates just purchased a player from DRC, if I'm not mistaken. And then this player, his name is Makusu. Makusu, I think he played only 1 game or so. And then I believe now they are returning him back to his team. And then they are looking at another team from another country as well. So I don't understand. They're still having your Mhango. Mhango is no longer playing the way. It looks like psychologically there is a problem, because he's no longer playing or scoring the way he used to score in the last season. Currently, he's definitely struggling, and it looks like Lepasa has taken his position. So that is killing him psychologically, because it looks like the coach prefers Lepasa better than Mhango himself. So another thing that I've recognized with Pirates is that they are not having in and out structure. I mean, strikers. Like, let's say when they play 4-4-2, they won't have any striker per se. They will rather use a midfielder to go and play as a striker. My question is, what happened with Abu Mabaso? What happened with Abu Mango or anything like that? That thing is killing the team spirit. But because I believe that at the moment, as we speak, Umhango is not happy. He's looking at leaving next season, and then because of a lack of game time, and then he wants to play for his national team. So if he's not playing for Paris, then it means he will never be able to continue with his international career. So definitely, Orlando Pirates at the moment, they are not bad. They are playing very good football. They are attack-minded and everything. But my problem is that why would they purchase players, especially international players, but they're not giving them any opportunity to play? Because it means that now it's a waste exercise. You bring a player 6 months here, he plays here, you're not giving him any chance, you only give him 1 chance, and then from there you send him back and say you're looking at another striker from another country. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay. Thank you very much. That's all I can say at the moment.
While you are still there, and then we are moving on, Tshepang, I want you to give us the results in England, and then so that we also touch on the topic. But one thing I always say, what counts most is goals. What counts most is titles. Don't forget that Pirates has a title already in this season. So whatever you can say about Zimbabwe, he's got a title. Wherever he goes, it will be part of his curriculum vitae that I won this title. All right. So as we criticize, we must also remember that what counts most. I remember Page at one stage once said, if you look at the teams around the world now, they don't play with a natural number 9 now. You see at Barcelona, they don't have number 9. They also have false 9. Barcelona has been using false 9 for a very long time until they brought in Luis Suarez. There are a lot of teams now who don't play with a right number 9, straight number 9. So I don't know, maybe football is improving or football is taking another dimension. Let me go to Tshepang. Kagiso, you'll continue to participate. We are going to international. Tshepang, I want you to give us the results in English Premier League. And then remember our questions are 3, 2 related to English League, 1 in the Italian League. The two topics is Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Has he managed to turn the fortune of Man United? It's yes or no. If you say yes, just say tick yes or say yes and comment. If you say no, same thing. Say no and comment. And continue to like and dislike if you dislike what we are doing. And then the second one, do you think Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham or Spurs will qualify for top 4 at the end of the season? Tshepang?
Mr. Shabala, problem with my Jackie, if it's possible, Mr. Jackie can give us the results of the English.
And then talk about the young man from our country who's playing for Leicester City. Those are good news. We are happy to see that. And then are you ready with the results, English Premier League?
Yes, I am.
Give us the results.
Okay, thank you. Thank you once more, my brothers. Okay, I'll start with the game that played on the 8th of March. And that game is between Chelsea and Everton. The game ended up at Chelsea 2, Everton 0. And then it was another one, West Ham United playing against Leeds United, and West Ham 2, Leeds not. And then there's a big one there. Manchester City played against Southampton, and Manchester City 5, Southampton 2. And then also we've got Newcastle that played against Aston Villa, and the score ended up at 1-1. And then Leeds United and Chelsea again on the 13th, they played, and the game ended up at 0-0 score. And then Crystal Palace 1, West Brom Albion 0. And then we've got also Everton 1, Burnley 2, Fulham not, Man City 3. Then we go to the 14th. There's a game between Southampton 1, Brighton Albion Hove 2. That is our own Percy Tau's team. They won 2-1. Leicester City 5. That was a big drubbing yesterday. And then Sheffield United 0. And then we've got a surprise, which was not expected, but it definitely happened. It tells you that there's something good that is happening within Arsenal. Arsenal 2, and then Tottenham Hotspur 1. I don't know what happened with the mojo from the big man, Mourinho himself. I don't know what happened. Is the mojo still there, or is it now disappearing, or what is going on? And then we've got also another game, Manchester United. They played against West Ham United, and that game ended up at 1-0, Manchester winning that game. And then quickly, I'm going to go to more information about the Premier League. I'm talking about the table, the log table. I'm just going to give you the top 5, strictly top 5, nothing else. I'll give you Manchester City still on number 1. They played 30 games and they've collected 71 points. They are cruising. Definitely, they are cruising to the Premiership. Number 2 is Man United, played 29 games and they collected 57 points. Leicester City played 29 games and they collected 56 points. Number 4 is Chelsea, played 29 games and then collecting 51 points, sorry. And then number 5, West Ham United, played 28 and then they collected 48 points. that is the top 5 in terms of the English Premiership. Yes, I'm done with that. And then let me take this opportunity to come back to you, Mr. Dau, in the studio.
Let's start with the first topic. Has Ole Gunnar Solskjær turned the fortune of Man United? Let's start with Kagiso. He said he's a Man United fan. And also Tshepang is a Man United fan. Guys, do you think has Ole Gunnar Solskjær turned the fortune of Man United?
I feel Man United has been like a rebuilding club, and a lot has happened since Sir Alex left us, and we've been criticized, like heavily criticized, about like how we have shifted to one of being the best to actually just being a competing club in the Premier League. Hence, we've been trying to get that top 4 handle. So, in terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjær, when I look at the stats, I read a stat today. It was the first time we've kept 4 clean sheets in 4 consecutive games. It has never happened under any other manager. In terms of being in the current times and looking at last season and this season, and the amount of points he's collected in the amount of games he has played, it has shown a huge difference because he's actually 26 points ahead of where he was last season in terms of the same amount of games he has played this season. So, in terms of moving forward, as a fan, I could say he, yes, shifted, but a team without silverware. I mean, even if he can win an FA Cup, he'd actually be the best manager in the last 10 years. Like, that's all you need to actually have a better resume than the previous coaches. So as a fan, I'd actually say to actually say that he has turned the team around if he can just start with silverware. I'm not actually expecting a huge silverware like a Premier League or like Soviet. I'm just looking for these domestic silverwares. At least it's just showing that we are actually competing. But to answer your question, I feel he has shifted because his stats are actually way better than the past managers we had in the last 10 years. So I actually see a difference, and I agree.
And you, as Man United, do you believe in this coach? Yes, I understand he has not won the title. You are correct. The title should mean, but with the style of play, you know what I like about Ole Gunnar Solskjær? He said, even if I lose, I'll never go and ask Sir Alex Ferguson. For me, that shows the guy is so confident. Because if a guy, they ask him, will you consult with Sir Alex Ferguson? Now it's like now he can be his own man, all right? Once he said that, I said, this guy is good. He's instilling confidence in the players to say, trust me, why should I go to Sir Alex Ferguson? He had his time and I was a player under him. Now it's my time, so I don't have to ask him. For me, that was a telling statement. So do you have confidence in Ole Gunnar Solskjær?
I do, because in the past season, like I've actually usually like watched our previous games, like in terms of like last season where we've dropped points and trying to find our structure. What I noticed is that in terms of style of football, he actually knows a certain squad to pick for a certain opponent. There's a player called Ben James. Ben James, people don't understand why he's always in the big games, but the boy, his work rate is hard. The boy marks, the boy comes back. He does a job where no other right wing midfielder we have, he does a job which our right wing midfielders cannot do. So he prefers the boy in terms of big games, because if we are under pressure, we can actually shift to 5-3-2 off the ball. On the ball, it's a 4-3-3 with the diamond with McTominay and Fred to keep the anchor. So he has a plan and a mindset for his opponents. His style of football, yes, in terms of build-up, players playing together, is not actually reached like its full potential. But for the fact that he has an idea of preparing for his opponent, and you can actually tell with the squad he selects, I feel as a fan, he's getting there. He's actually on the right path. I just wish him like the next season or in the next 2 seasons he can win like a major trophy to back up his hard work that is not being noticed lately. But in the football, I feel like he's on the right path because now he knows how to prepare for his opponent.
Okay. Your line seems not to be good. I don't know what's happening. The connection is not perfect. Guys, I think we need to move on. I wanted Tshepang to say something. I'm looking at the time, it's moving very fast. Let's go to the next topic. Do you think, I'm going to ask now, Jackie, I know you're a Liverpool fan. Do you think Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, are they going to make top 4?
Yes, definitely sure. I'm really looking forward to that.
No,
even though the chances are very slim.
So 3 of them will make top 4. Then number 1 will be what?
That will be Man City, number 1.
Man City. So
and
United.
Then followed by Man United.
No,
Man United will be number 2.
No. You said the 3 of them will make top 4. So you can't have City and Man United and 3 of them.
No. Maybe I didn't hear you correctly. But all I'm saying is that.
Were you referring to Liverpool? Let me.
Yes, like I said, chances are very slim, but I'm still confident that my team will qualify.
You say Liverpool will qualify?
Liverpool.
Okay.
That's correct, yes.
In other words, your 4 will be?
Man City.
Yes.
Man United.
Yes.
And then that will be Chelsea,
yes.
as well as Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay. Tshepang.
That's correct, yes.
Will Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur make top 4? Or which one out of these 3 will make top 4? And which are your 4 teams?
I see Chelsea being in the top 4. West Ham will be kicked out. I see Man City, Manchester United, Leicester City, and Chelsea in the top 4. And then your Liverpool and Tottenham will fight for the Europa spot, the Europa League spot. It's fine.
The debate has started. Kagiso? What's your take?
I feel only Chelsea will be in the top 4 because Chelsea is a rebuilding club, which they're trying to keep the streak alive, and the players are actually happy working with the new coach. So they're willing to gamble and play for the coach. Same thing as Leicester City. Why not seeing them exiting? Those boys love Brendan Rodgers. I don't think they'd let Brendan Rodgers down. Like in terms of big games, those boys actually come to the party, despite what might come out of the results. But you can actually see a team that loves their coach. And if, as a player, if you have a team that actually loves how you take care of them or how you deal with the staff, they'll actually want to play for you. So my top 4 is Man City, Man United, Leicester City, and Chelsea.
Guys, in other words, all of you don't think that Man United can take the league, can upset Man City?
I definitely don't see it happening.
Have you seen the difference of points? It's only 11 points.
Mr. Shabalala, it's going to be tough. It's Man City's league to lose, but knowing Man City, once they're ahead with so many points, it's hard to stop a team like that. It's really hard. Unless if these other big teams, your Chelsea's, your Leicester's, they're still going to play again. They're still going to play again. Your Liverpool's, they're still going to play the second legs again with Man City. Unless we see something different. But it doesn't mean that if Manchester City will lose their next game, Manchester United will win their game. So they can lose and Manchester United can also lose. So then the gap will still be the same. So it's tricky. It's really tricky. It's a tough one.
Closer. We are left with 11 games. Closer will look at that. I know that Man City are cruising now, but Closer will look at that. Maybe at home, we may say the debate is not there anymore. I don't know. Maybe at home. I'm not saying that's the case. Maybe at home, the debate is closed. I'm not sure about it. We'll discuss. when we go closer. Now, guys, do you agree with Juventus? Because, you know, Ronaldo, you can say whatever you say. The guy is brilliant, all right? He answered his critics very well by scoring 3 goals, all right? And if I analyze Ronaldo, Juventus without Ronaldo, they are a shadow of themselves. Only Ronaldo who makes them tick. But there are other people who are arguing that Ronaldo scores more goals when he plays with Minos. When he plays with real teams that gives him challenge, you don't see him scoring. But the fact of the matter is, Juventus without Ronaldo, for me, has not been Juventus. For the past 2 seasons, Ronaldo has contributed greatly. Yes, he may not have contributed in the Champions League, but I don't think it's fair for the management and the fans to blame it on Ronaldo. They were supposed to be nice and say, Ronaldo, you know, we are paying a lot of money, and due to COVID-19, we are taking strain. So we want to offer you back to Real Madrid, because Ronaldo loves Real Madrid, make no mistake. And Real Madrid, I'm sure Perez will definitely love to have him back. So for me, that would be something that I would expect. But for them to say, we call him for the Champions League, we haven't won Champions, that's a sour grape. I don't know. Quick points from each of you. Who starts first?
Can I go first, sir?
Yes, Kakiso, come in. As our guest.
With the whole statement about like blaming Ronaldo, yes, we know Ronaldo is great and we expect big things of him, but not one man can change the world. Like, I mean, the president itself needs its subordinates to actually function. Your supervisors, even as a business, you need people to work with you. If it's not group work, there's no way they cannot get the results. I mean, they're working together, but how can you be dependent on one player out of 11 players, well, a possible 10 playing in the field? It's actually unfair as him, maybe because of the bar he set for himself about being so great. But I feel it's pretty unfair to blame one player out of a possible 28 players who could be playing in the Champions League. So I just feel like they were a bit harsh on their big player there.
Tshepang, your take?
Yes, I would like to agree with what Karis was saying. Like he really said some valid points about that. They can't keep on looking for a scapegoat when things don't go their way. I mean, if things don't go their way, why don't they look at your Moratas, your Chiesas, your Ramses? But the main focus is just Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, Mr. Chavala, that man has done a lot for that club in a space of 3 years. So, you know, during big games, yes, it's a big game. You expect him to rise like any other player, but other players should also rise up. Why can't they make names for themselves? Ronaldo has already done a lot for the club. I feel like if the supporters and the management is involved in this, they are really ungrateful. Who was going to score all of those goals that Ronaldo was scoring this season? So do you think that Morata would have scored all of those goals? I think everyone should be realistic about this, that the goals that Cristiano Ronaldo had scored, which other player, if they hadn't gotten a better player like Cristiano Ronaldo, who was going to score those goals? So, you know, a lot of things, these people should start, I think, start searching themselves also, and they just should just, you know, give the guy some sort of respect and a breather a bit, because you're saying that you've brought him in for the Champions League, but he can't win the Champions League alone. He's got a whole team around him. So the players need to also start coming to the party and deliver. They can't expect him to just deliver alone.
You know, players, they want to be shown that they're loved. If you don't show that, you know, Kaksha has mentioned something very important. It's a team sport. You need a president, everybody. You remember when Prof. Matebula was here? Prof. Matebula said the fans of Mamelodi Sundowns, they didn't want Pito. Dr. Patrice Mutsipe called a meeting, said, guys, If you don't want Pitso, now you have to choose. I go with Pitso wherever I go, but I'll take the team away from Mamelodi. And then that statement was clear to the fans that the coach has the backing of the president. It was clear to the players that the coach has the backing of the president. And remember, he said, even those players who were not playing for the coach, they start playing for the coach. You need that leadership. I've seen Laporte. Laporte went to PSG and drumming up the players, telling them that we can come back. You need that, all right? It's like now PSG, they'll come back and say, hey, Neymar, we called you for the Champions League. We haven't won Champions League. And guess what? PSG, they are trying to renew Neymar's contract, which means that they give him support, they back him. So I agree with you that it should not be blamed on Ronaldo, but the leadership should support him. Jackie, as the last one on this topic, so that we move on.
My brother, I think that kind of a comment or that kind of utterances, it's like a lame excuse. I mean, Ronaldo is Ronaldo as an individual, and Juventus is a team on its own. And then when you single out Ronaldo from a team, what are you saying about other players? It means that now they are nothing. It doesn't make any sense. Whoever that mentioned that kind of a statement must check himself first before he can be able to talk about these kind of things. Because when you talk about Juventus, we talk about a team that is consisting of other players, including Ronaldo himself. And Ronaldo has delivered a lot. I wish he can go back to Real Madrid once and for all and see, because they don't even appreciate the fact that financially, in terms of endorsements and everything, sponsorships, they've benefited a lot because of the name of Ronaldo himself. So definitely for me, it doesn't make sense. They don't even deserve us to talk about them because it looks like they don't even know what they're doing. I don't know how do they run that particular team. Maybe that's why this team is not performing as expected because of their leadership style. It's poor. That's it.
Okay, guys, let's move on to the last section, the Messi special. I'm not going to talk about the La Liga today, but I'm just going to go straight to the Messi special.
Cuando votéis, me miras a mí un momentito antes de dejar. Gracias.
No posaràs tu, sí? Que sí, no posaràs tu a la papereta? Molt bé, campió.
¿Qué? ¿Me miráis los dos? Ahí. Un segundo. Muy bien.
Messi, marxa bé Messi de Paredes, encara Messi, és molt bona l'acció individual de Leo Messi, compta amb la velocitat de l'argentí, encara Messi fent la diagonal, Messi!
Right, the Messi special. Before I go there, I just want to share some news on the Messi special. I want to share the top goal scorer in various decades. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decades. And then in the 1940s, the top goal scorer in that decade, look at the numbers. For me, the numbers count. 470 goals, Bika. In the 1950s, Di Stefano, 301 goals in the 1950s. In the 1960s, Pele, 403 goals, all right, in the 60s. In the 70s, Gerd Müller, 452, the German, 452 goals in the 70s. And then in the 80s, Sanchez, 315 goals. And then in the 90s, Romario, 340 goals. In the 2000s, the new era, the 21st century, Thierry Henry with 310. In the 2010s, Lionel Messi. Look at the gap, 571. Now look at the gap between Messi and the second guy, which is Barca, which is Piqué. Can you see the difference? It's 100 goals.
Yeah.
100 goals.
109.
109.
This settles the argument of saying it's 109 goals for that matter, not even 100 goals. The difference. That's the second guy who follows Messi. Settle this argument of the GOAT. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you. Let me check again the other story that I want to check with you. Apart from this one, there is another one that I want to check. Let's see. Which one I wanted to?
Don't forget to release Kagiso.
No. We will live with us. Don't worry. You will live with us now. 9:30. Yeah. So there was another section I think that I wanted to give you. I think it was in the what you call the this one. I think this one that I wanted to share with you. Now, these are the stats, you know, in the top 5 league, the most assists, all right? Lionel Messi, 189, La Liga. Number 2, Ryan Giggs, 162, the Premier League. Number 3, Francisco Totti, Serie A, 152. Number 4, Thomas Müller, 127, the Bundesliga. And then number 5 is Dimitri Payet, 85, and then it is the Liga Uber. All right. So these are the assists. So I don't know. These are the numbers. And if you look here, because always the argument is between Messi and Ronaldo, and you don't see Ronaldo here. You don't see Cristiano Ronaldo. And get me clear, I'm not saying Cristiano Ronaldo is not a big player. Cristiano Ronaldo is a big player, but unfortunately, he came at the era when there was Lionel Messi. And then if there's anyone who disagrees with me, give me the numbers, give me the stats. And I listened to what Steven Gerrard said. Steven Gerrard said, I am Messi #1 fan. I love the player. Steven Gerrard. And then Dani Alves said this. I'm quoting them. He said, if Cristiano Ronaldo is a better player than Messi because he won the national title, then David Villa is a better player than both Ronaldo and Messi because he won the World Cup, he won the Euro Cup and the Champions League. That's Dani Alves. Sergio Ramos, he said this week, he said, I wish Messi can join Madrid. And he's the best player in the world. And I would love to host him in my house to show him that he's welcome. He said, that's Ramos, this guy has made us suffer a lot. I would love him to join us. Then you have Elijah Moriba. Elijah Moriba said, you know, I scored a goal, my first goal in a team, a big team in the world, which is Barcelona. And when I turned, the first person that I saw was the best player in the world. One day I'll show you the meeting of Messi and Moriba. Gentlemen, it was nice having you tonight. That's a Messi special. And then I will be giving you this all the time. Thank you, Kagiso. Let me tell you, Kagiso, while you're still there, you made a very brilliant contribution. I really appreciate it. And then I can see that you understand football. We'll call you one day again when we have Pirates so that you talk about Pirates. But I understand you have a vast knowledge of football. Thank you very much for coming, okay?
I appreciate having me here.
Okay, last born. Thank you, Bafanas, as always.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chabalala. And thanks to our guest, Kagiso. Thanks for being part of the show today.
Jackie?
Thank you, Mr. Shabalala. Thank you very much to Kagiso. You're welcome to visit again, my brother. We need that information that you've got. Definitely, you've got that vast knowledge in terms of football as a whole. We need that once more. Next time, you must join us again. And thank you very much to the fans out there at home. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Keep on supporting us, keep on liking, and then keep on subscribing as well. And then keep on commenting as well. Your comments and then your liking makes us bigger. Thank you very much.
Kagiso,
good night.
Do us a favor, recruit more people for us, okay?
No problem. Affirmative, Mr. Shabalala.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you, guys.